So today I'm out at one of my favorite parks, the Eleanor C. Lawrence Park here in Northern Virginia. And I want to take you along as I get some pictures of some of these flowers here. So basically I brought very simple equipment today. I just have my Pen-F with a 25mm f1.7 lens. But I'm not going to be shooting wide open for the most part because it's really bright out today. And actually what I'm going to be doing is using an off-camera flash. So what I have here is my, this is my NW610-2. I think, you know, you'll find this under a lot of different names on eBay, Mikey, and I forget. But just do a search for 610-Roman numeral 2 compact flash, and you'll find this particular one. And I like this flash a lot. Also, I'm using a very cheap radio trigger. This is a $15 radio trigger that you can buy all day long. This one's a newer brand, but again, you can find this in a lot of different brands. And if you look at my Pen-F here, you can see the radio trigger on top. So this is what you want to look for. It's a $15 radio trigger. And this is a $25 flash. And then I got this on a, Manfrotto Pixie tabletop tripod, just in case I want to set it down and do some different angles, or put it in a place that I can't really reach with two hands at the same time. And you'll see as I'm going along. So I'm going to set up my camera here that I'm filming on, so you can sort of watch me take the shots, and then I'll talk about the settings I'm using. Because an off-camera flash with a Pen-F or any camera really, you want to be shooting in manual mode to kind of get the effects you're going to see here. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm down here in the shaded portion of the flower bed, and I'm going to be using just again my 25mm, but I'm going to set this to f5.6 so that if you just still have your kit lens, you can kind of follow along the exact same settings I'm using. I'm in aperture priority because this is how most of us start out, by taking pictures either in aperture or program mode. But I'm going to be in aperture priority. And then some of the other settings you can look at here is I'm in a fixed ISO 200, auto white balance. I'm in a mechanical shutter, anti-shock. Okay, that's important because I'll be using the flash later. And large fine plus raw, natural color profile, and then automatic image stabilization. So, very standard settings, but let's go ahead and get a picture of this flower right here to start and see what we can do. And not bad, very nice. Alright, now one other thing we can do is, I'm shooting a lot more JPEG now, believe it or not. So I like to do art bracketing, okay? So what it'll do is when I take a picture like I just did, instead of just giving me the one picture, it'll give me like another 10 or 15 pictures with all the various art filters applied. So let me show you how to do that real quick. You just go into the menu, and it's right here in shooting menu number 2. Go into bracketing, scroll down, and then you'll see a right arrow, so I can click over to the right. And then I'll scroll all the way down here to art bracketing. And you can see it's set to on because I was, playing with this before. But once you're in here, you can kind of go down and pick all the different filters. And as you can see, I turned most of them on. Okay, so let's click OK here, click OK here, click OK again. So now that this says bracketing is on. So I can verify that bracketing is on now because I have this bracketing icon sitting right here, right? So let's go ahead and, wait for the wind. There. Okay. Yeah, there's some interesting shots there, right? So, alright, now, let's do this with off-camera flash and see what kind of difference we can make in the picture just by using one flash. Turn on the trigger here. And since it's not too bright here, and I'm relatively close, I'm going to set the flash power. This is a manual flash. I'm going to set the flash power down to 1/32 power. Okay? And then for my exposure on my camera, I'm not going to just work like that. Since this is a manual flash, I have to be shooting in manual on the camera. But it's no big deal. I just go into M mode. Okay, I check my shutter speed at 1/250th of a second. And I'm at a fixed ISO 200, and everything else doesn't matter for exposure. But let's just take a look here. Now what I want you to look at in this case is the EV meter. You can see that at 1/250 the second, ISO 200 and f5.6, we're at about 1 stop underexposed, meaning the picture is going to be a little bit dark. But when I'm using off-camera flash, I really want to crush all of the ambient light around the flower so that all that's going to be illuminated is the flower itself, right? So let's, since we can't increase the shutter speed any higher, 1/250 of a second is the maximum flash sync speed by default. And I can't really lower the ISO. I could try ISO low, maybe. But I prefer to stay at ISO 200 because that's the optimal ISO setting. So the only thing left really is the aperture, right? So I'm going to roll that up until I get to -3. And it looks like right at f11 is right around -3. Now once I hit -3, I actually want to go a little bit past that. I always like to be just a little bit darker than 3 stops, maybe not quite 4 stops. So all I have to do is click over, let's go to f14, just maybe 2 more clicks, right? And then again, I have my flash at 1/32 power. And actually that reminds me, one other thing I want to do. This is a can cooler, okay? All I did was cut the bottom out. You know, this is for like your aluminum can drinks. But all I do is I put it on the head of the flash like this, and now it acts like a snoot. So now the flash from the light is not going to be spreading out all over the place either. Yeah, that looks really good. I like that a lot. Not bad. Now we can do some other interesting things too. We can put the flash behind the flower so it illuminates it, right, from everything else. So it'll look like it's glowing. And that's why I have the tripod here, is so I can set it up. I mean, I guess I could hand hold it, but then it's kind of awkward, right? So by setting up the flash like this, there we go. Maybe a little bit more behind. All right, let's try that. And that gives a really, really interesting look, I think. Okay, let's try another trick that I showed you in my last video, where I can kind of change the color or control the color of things through a custom white balance. Okay, so all you need really is just a white sheet of paper. Now this is a 98 bright. You can buy like 500 sheets for like $10 at Walmart, right? So just buy the brightest one you can. I got a 98 brightness. It's usually labeled right on the box of paper wrapping. I brought my little gel with me. This is my orange gel. So what orange does is going to make the background opposite of orange, which in this case would be a teal. Just going to put this on the front like so. And then put my can cooler on top of that. Okay, so what I do is I put the camera into a custom white balance. So you just go into the super control panel, and then you roll the dial until you see the number 1 right there. Okay, and then now I see this info button. If I click the info button, it's going to ask me to take a picture of a white sheet of paper. But I'm not going to take a picture of just a white sheet of paper. I'm going to take a picture of the white sheet of paper with the flash flashing on it, so it actually takes a picture of orange. Okay, like that, like that. All right, that should be close enough. We'll say yes here. And now you can see that it's very, very blue here on the background. So what that's going to do is make everything blue. But if I use the flash to illuminate things, okay, you see, like, let's get a picture of these 2 yellow flowers here, and there's kind of these whiter flowers in the background. These whiter flowers in the background will now look blue. You can see we're still at 1/32 power. I may need to give it a little more power because the gel usually takes about 1 stop of light off. So I'm going to crank the flash up from 1/32 to 1/16. So I'm adding 1 stop of light, or doubling the light. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. let's move on to another location. Hey guys, so I was kind of walking along the park here and I ran across an airplane. Anyway, I ran across this bed of flowers here, so I thought I'd see what I can do with this. F14 seems to be -3, so we'll go 2 clicks beyond that. And since the light is coming from this way, I think I'll try and have the flash bring the light in that way as well. So let's try that. That looks awesome. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed following me along and taking those pictures of flowers. And you know, the way the lighting is here today, I think you could really get some beautiful pictures without even trying too hard. But I wanted to show you how you can sort of take your photography up to the next level with off-camera flash. And I also wanted to combine that gel trick. I hadn't actually tried it before myself on flowers. But you know, when I was making that video, I was like, oh, I got to do this on flowers next, right? So, and I, you know, just from the back of the screen, I haven't been home yet. I think they came out pretty good. So we'll see. And I'll put links down below to the pictures on my, I don't know if I'll do Instagram or Flickr, but I'll put links down to the pictures so you can kind of look at them straight on without going through YouTube if you'd like. And also I wanted to mention, I really appreciate you guys sharing your Flickr pages and Instagrams and stuff. I do look at them and I enjoy them immensely. And one photographer, he sent me pictures of, he likes to do night photography and he's kind of new to Olympus, and I forget his name, but I'll put a link down to his Flickr page below. But he was asking me for some tips on night photography. And I'll do a video on night photography, but honestly, this guy's pictures, he could teach me a few things. I mean, they were beautiful, beautiful pictures of the night. So check those out if you get a chance, okay? And like I said, I'll put his link down below to his Flickr page. I hope he doesn't mind me sharing these. But in any case, if you have any questions or for me, okay, just leave them in the comments below. I'm going to be doing another video shortly, so stay tuned and hopefully we'll see you again soon.